Hello, Stampers. It's Faye from Faye's Stampin' Studio. Sorry, I'm coming on here a few minutes late. I was having trouble trying to decide how I was going to manage this card tonight, but I made this particular one, and I used this one here, and it's a pop-out swing card, and I was inspired by Lisa Curco, as well as Jan B. I saw something that she had done some time ago. So I really like this one. This one I used the Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper. When we got that paper, I thought that would be a perfect Christmas card designer paper. So, and then I used the Peaceful Cabin, but I kind of cheated and pulled out my heat and stick powder and some dazzling diamonds for the snow. I'm disappointed that we don't have the dazzling diamonds available at this point, just because, right? It is perfect time of the year for all that sparkly snow, so I wish we had it. But anyways, so this is how it's going to look. Again, and from the top it looks like that. It's way easier than it looks, that's for sure. And yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to manage a similar idea. I'm not going to make the duplicate of this. I'm going to do just a slightly different. So I'll just set this over here out of the way for now, and hang tight for a second here. I'm just wanting to see. Okay, good. Now, yeah. So I decided tonight I was going to use, I'm going to use the Free as a Bird stamp set, and I will be using some fall colors, some Cajun Craze, and that piece is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and that's the main card base. I have so many pieces here. And then this is your inside mechanism, and it's 5 1/4 by 6 inches, and you score it at 2 and 4 inches along the 6-inch edge, so 2 and 4. And I forgot to cut out. I need a couple of more pieces of this, which I'll catch it later. And they're going to be 1/2 inch by 4 inches long. So that's going to help with our mechanism. And then I layered these 2 circle dies to make this frame. And I used these 2 from the Layering Circles dies. And you just have to put them in like together and then cut them. So I'm going to use that, and I believe that piece was about 3.5 by 3.5 inches. And then I used another scrap piece, and I used a framelit from Potted Succulents for my the sentiment. And I went ahead and stamped them already. I just was trying to maybe speed things up here for this evening. And we've got a piece of Designer Series paper, the Beauty of the Earth, and it's 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that piece goes on the front of our card. And then we have 2 pieces of the Beauty of the Earth DSP at 1 5/8 inch by 4 7/8 inches. I think I'm missing a couple pieces here. I have some more. And then I've got Bumblebee, and it's 1 3/4 by 5 inches. And I said 2 pieces, but I did cut a 3rd piece because I think I might want to use it on the inside of that mechanism. So these will just layer on here. So that's those pieces. And then I needed a piece of basic white, and I used the thick for the circle, and it's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inch, and I went ahead and stamped it already and cut it out. Just so, as you can see, I've had to cut off a portion of it because we're going to be putting that on the front of this card. So, and I also stamped a bird, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use that or not as embellishment. So we'll see how it all goes together, I guess. We'll decide after that whether it's what I want or not. Okay, so we'll start off, and this is scored at 4 1/4 inches, so we'll use the bone folder and burnish that edge well. And I'm going to need adhere this piece on here. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, if I see where I've put it. So bit on the edges, and I'm also going to go in the middle because we're going to be cutting out the circle, so I don't want it to, the edges to move around. So if you're watching tonight, give me a hi and comment on the, oh, that doesn't look as good. Almost think I cut that wider. Wonder if I can get it off without wrecking it. Because it's a little bit too wide. Kind of didn't measure that very well. Ooh. See if I can trim it down without sticking to everything. I think I have got lucky here. Oh, I didn't measure it on there. I hate it when I do that. It's annoying. Okay, that'll work. And then we need the same circle piece, the circle die that I used for that outline for the frame. And I'm just going to pop over to my Big Shot and cut this out. And I put a little piece of washi tape on there to keep it from moving. So hopefully, so there, that's what that center looks like. And just gonna have a seat here. And I'm hoping I can put this here. I don't know, my bird might be too big. He might, because we can't put anything up near that, otherwise it's going to interfere. I think it'll work with that. So now we're going to do some blending with our Stampin' Blends tonight. We get to use them. We'll do that portion first. And I kind of thought I'd make these cute little birds in the light so saffron. So you can color these the way, however you enjoy coloring. It's free for all. You can do it whatever appeals to your taste. But I do think I'm gonna do this guy the same way. I'm not too creative when it comes to all the different shadings. But I am going to come in again with And I think I'll use the dark So Saffron this time. And we're just going to go along the edges where there's some extra, where you see those extra outlines of color. Just to blend those in. And I'll do this one too. He's going to have a little bit more. He's got a few more of the dark outlines on it. And everybody has their own method of doing this coloring. And now I like to probably go over top of it again with the light color. So I'm just trying to bring out a little bit of, make it not quite as stark, the areas that I did the darker highlighting on. And then the only other thing, I'm going to give these birds a little, their beaks, we're using the light Cajun Craze on them. And I have to decide on what else we're going to do here. Oh, I'm thinking I should probably do this guy's feet a little bit. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm even going to use that one, but we've got them colored in case we decide to use them. And I'm going to use the light So Soft Suede for the tree branch that these birds are perched on. I'm not going to bother with any extra shading on that. And I thought maybe the light soft seafoam would be nice for the leaves. There's a little bit of more of a lime green in the designer series paper. I was trying to pull out the colors that were in that designer paper to color everything, but not so sure I have them or not. But I think I'm going to do a bunch of darker highlights on those leaves, just because that color is quite soft. Oop, I missed this one here. Forgot those ones at the bottom. And then these flowers, I was thinking I was going to use Cajun Craze, I think, here. But I'll just use the light and we won't do any other things on there. So that is those guys. So that's going to go in here when we get ready. Hopefully it doesn't look too busy. And I am going to put I'm going to use my liquid adhesive and my silicone sheet here, because in case I get too much glue, just want to get a fine little layer around here. Pull out my trusty tweezers here. Maybe I won't get quite so much glue on my fingers if I use it. And then, yeah, just put it, yeah, find the spot. And I think that's gonna make that pop nicer. I'll put this here. I think that's going to be actually kind of cute. I think we'll use a little bit of Wink of Stella on this one to give it a little bit of a sheen. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. Maybe my Winkostella is getting down. Oh, there it is. And I'll just use the liquid glue on this. I want to just attach him on here. I have to be careful where I put him. Again, like I said, he can't be above the frame there, otherwise it's going to interfere with the opening mechanism. And now I think we'll put some dimensionals on this. I don't have any of the small ones handy, so I will just cut some of these big ones up if we need to. I like to use every last piece, so I'm looking at a couple of small pieces off the edges. I want one for the head and one for the tip of his tail. I don't know. Oh, here it is. I was wondering. I thought I didn't know where I left my take your pick tool. So now we'll pull this off of here. Just put that there. Okay, I'm just going to put that away out of the road for a minute. Now we're ready to do the inside portion of this card. So these you're going to fold mountain and valley is how they're going to be. Burnish it well. I'm going to adhere a couple of these. I'll test them to make sure that they're going to be better, so I don't have them cut not correctly. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. I find it a little less messy when I'm doing these Facebook Lives. I don't get quite as much glue all over my fingertips and stuff, so. Just have to get that on there. So there's one. And the second one. And so these ones, I think I'll put them on this one. I think I'll put them here and here. And I'm going to put Stamp a Greeting on this piece, I believe. So I'm going to adhere these, and then I'll show you what I did on the other card. The inside is just made slightly different, and it looks kind of neat. I actually really like the way it turned out. I'm usually a layering person, though. I usually like to do lots of layers on my cards. And then just get it in there, centered on that section. And I think the world needs more of you. Is that going to fit there? Oh, it isn't. Well, maybe I won't be putting a stamp on there. I can always, if I find something later, I can always add it on there. I think it'll be still easy enough to do. And you could actually use just your white for this piece of cardstock too. So that is going to be going in here like this. So now I found it probably the easiest is to just put my adhesive on this side of it. I want to make sure this one is down well, so I think I'll go all the way around this time. Pull that in here. Try and get it on there straight. See, as you can see, that's how this is coming together now. Now I've got to pull in my paper cutter to cut those two pieces that I forgot. So I said I needed a piece 4 inches long. So we'll do that first. Make this 4 inches. And just a 1/2 inch wide is good. So that's one piece and 2 pieces. Oh shucks! I should have scored that score it at 2 inches, which isn't too hard to do. It's just in half, so I could just fold it. But since I have the scoring tool out, I will. This is an amazing tool. I love that scoring machine. Okay, now I have to think on how to put that other piece on, you guys. So, okay, it's on this one here. Where is there? There's a fold right there. And the fold is here. So these will go here. Now you want to make sure it doesn't stick out. So in the fold, so I'm just going to trim a little tiny piece off of there. And then I'm going to put the glue on this side of it. And just up at the top of it. Might as well trim a touch off that end too. Guess this time it looks, could have been just a smidge shorter. And then, make sure I'm doing this right here. Yes, I am. And a little bit of adhesive on here. And again, just tuck it, line it up on the edge there. Okay, so now this will go, this will end up like that. So really, what we do is, and now if I flip this over, I'm going to put the glue on this side now. The adhesive goes there, and oh, it's going to be stubborn. I hope they soon get their, I'm almost out of this. It's on back order and you can't get it, which I'm really sad about that because I'm actually really liking this. So now the best method I found was just to fold it down flat like that and then just fold your front of your card right onto it. And then it will stick down like that. So our last step is to adhere our little window in here like that. That's going to go there. So now the best thing is just to put your glue on here. So if you use liquid, you have to be quite careful not to get too close. But this is tricky, especially with this circle now, I think. Might be kind of tricky to get it going on there. Not sure. Yeah, that would work. I'm going to use my other one. So if I just go in here, that should work. And just there. We just don't want it to be holding everything down. So I am just going to fit it in there, hopefully perfectly, so that it swings open. Okay. So then if you take a hold of it here, it opens like that. Isn't that just the cutest card? I'm actually thinking I really love it. That's cute. I haven't used my Free as a Bird stamp set for actually quite a while. I tend to get going on my new stamps and I forget all about my old ones that I really liked. So that turned out, and you can write here. And if you wanted, you could still even add a piece on the back for more areas to make a note to your card recipient. So that's that one. And now I didn't tell you here, on this other one, these designer pieces are actually cut by the 2 by 5 1/4 inches. So they come right up to the edge. So you'll want to make sure that they don't hang over at all along here. You may have to trim them off if they do. But that was just the way this one is done. And I like it too. But I also like the layer look too. So it's a tough decision on which one we should do. So I'm hoping that you enjoyed both of these. And if you have a preference, tell me which one you like better. And thanks for stopping by, you guys. And if you're watching this on my Facebook, please comment and like it, share it with your friends. And if you're on YouTube, please give it a thumbs up and share it as well. And I will talk to you again next week. Okay, thanks for coming by. Good night.